Hello, my name is Melissa Sisson, and I am Public Services Reference Librarian here at Siena Heights University Library. And today we're going to be looking at utilizing databases and what are some of the samples and examples of which databases to select and use when you're doing your research. Once again, we want to go into My Siena and type in using your student ID and password, get yourself logged in, go over to the right hand side under My Tools, and this time we're going to be looking at library databases. The topic that we're going to be utilizing today is social media. So the first one we're going to look at is JSTOR. JSTOR is a very sophisticated database. We're going in there, and don't let sophistication scare you. It's okay. I just want you to see, as we look at and examine all three of the databases, look at the titles and where they're coming from and see if you get a feel the same way that I think I do. So we're going to type in this first search box, social media, and click on search. JSTOR has a collection of 10 various databases, and we have 4 out of the 10. So that's nice to know that we have that for you. And as you'll see, there is 136,035 search results. Most definitely you're going to want to attempt to narrow that down, but let's take a look and see what we have here. So number 1 is news consumption and media bias. Okay, and that can be something of interest to us. And as we scroll down, we'll see that there are some various other ones that might be of help to you and maybe not. Number 7 is moral panic and the moral language in the media. So we're seeing that we're getting a lot of just moral or just media materials, and maybe that's not exactly, but let's take a look at number 9. Media and group cohesion, relative influences on social presence, participation, and group consensus. So as we've typed in social media, we'll see that there are 136,035 search results. That's quite a few, and you might at this time want to consider, perhaps I want to narrow this down and make it a little more specific, because that's way too large of a hit when you are typing in your topic. Number 1 looks like an interesting one, news consumption and the media bias. We want to make sure when we're looking at social media that bias can happen. You'll see that you have your 2 authors. This is coming from Marketing Science, volume 26, number 5, September, October 2007, and it starts on page 611 to 628. At this time, you could click on Article PDF. You want to accept the JSTOR terms, and voila, here we go. Here's our article in full text. Okay, so as you scroll down, there we have it. So this might be something that you are considering. Another thing that you'll notice is right here in this part of the box is the abstract of what this article is going to have contained in it. So you don't have to read 11 pages or 12 pages or 26 pages. By looking at the abstract, you can determine quickly in reading less than a paragraph that yes, this is what I want. No, this is not. Also, you'll notice over here underneath the abstract are key words, other terms that you might want to plug in, type, search, just to see if there's anything else that you want. A good journal article should read like a good paper. There's an introduction. What is it that they're hoping to discuss and get an idea of? And as you scroll down, you'll see that there are figures, graphs, and charts. Sometimes they will have participants, a method. This one has a lit review, so you'll see here number 2 is relevant literature. Gives you an idea of other materials that they have looked at and have deciphered and put into this particular article. Number 3 is a model, so they've gathered data. That helps so that you can determine what they have decided, what they have discovered, and what has been now decided. Okay, and as you scroll back down, they have some of the statistical information, the mean, the mode, the analysis of the materials that they have gathered. The other thing that you'll want to do most of the time is after this, there will be some kind of a summary, a discussion, as well as a conclusion on what have they gathered from looking at this data. And these are all very important things, especially when you're writing a research paper. You need to have those kinds of information that will back and support what you're trying to say in your paper. And most importantly is at the very bottom, at the end, are the references that they have used in order to write this particular article. If you needed extensive amount of sources by getting 3 or 4 really good journal articles and looking at the sources that they have utilized, you can springboard from that. So references are kind of like the GPS on your paper. You are helping the reader find where you received the information and how did you get it. So I should be able to go to any one of these things, any of the sources that were used, and be able to find this particular journal using the volume, the issue, the year, the page numbers, and click right on it and find that I got that. So you don't want to give us a left-hand turn when we're looking for a right-hand turn. So references are always very important. So that's just a quick look at what JSTOR will do for you. There are a lot more databases that we haven't even touched, so feel free to explore them, see what there is and what you can find in them. Each one has its own specialty and of use for you. The other thing is always continue to come back because we continue to upgrade and get new databases as well as trial databases. So you always want to be looking at this particular page because it changes, and that's a good thing.